Hello, Immortal News family, and welcome back to our channel. In the last 24 hours, we have received the somber news of the passing of extraordinary talents, and today's episode is dedicated to honoring their memory. Before we start, we kindly ask for your support. If this video or the legacies of these remarkable individuals have touched your life, please consider giving this video a thumbs up as a sign of respect and remembrance. Thank you.
Hi, Mr. Wilson. Here's something for you.
Well, put it on the...
Number 6. There was always something sweet and sincere in Jay's spirit, even behind the mischief, recalled Jeannie Russell, his co-star and lifelong friend. Jay North, who captured the hearts of millions as the tow-headed troublemaker Dennis Mitchell, has passed away at the age of 73 after a long and courageous battle with cancer. He was a shining star of early television. At just 8 years old, Jay became the face of Dennis the Menace, bringing to life the comic strip character with charm, wit, and impeccable timing. For 4 seasons, he made America laugh, cry, and remember the joy of childhood. But Jay's talents stretched far beyond one role. He took on heartwarming film roles in Zebra, In the Kitchen, and Maya, showing a depth and emotional range rarely seen in young actors. As a teenager, his voice brought animated characters to life, from Bam Bam Rubble to Prince Turhan, introducing him to a whole new generation of fans. Jay's personal story included challenges that didn't make headlines at the time. Behind the fame, he endured mistreatment common to many young actors in Hollywood's early days. Later in life, he used his painful past to protect others. As an advocate for child actors, he gave strength and support to those navigating the same uneven path he once walked. Outside of the entertainment world, Jay sought peace in a quieter life. He served honorably in the U.S. Navy and later worked as a correctional officer in Florida. Yet he never strayed far from the joy he gave to fans, often appearing at nostalgia events and conventions where he was greeted with warmth, laughter, and gratitude. He is survived by his loving wife Cynthia and 3 beloved stepdaughters. Those who knew him remember his kind heart, humility, and generosity of spirit. Fellow child star John Provost said it best: "We lost an original." Jay brought light to so many lives, including mine. Jay North left behind more than memories. He left behind smiles. His impact will continue to live on in fans new and old, reminding us that sometimes the greatest troublemakers leave the warmest marks on our hearts. Tributes to Jay North. Number 5. There was only one ace of bass, and that was Dave. These were the words of Hugo Burnham, his longtime bandmate and friend, as he reflected on the legacy of Dave Allen, a brilliant force whose bass lines shaped a generation. Dave Allen passed away at 69 after a long and courageous battle with early-onset mixed dementia. Surrounded by the love of his wife Patty, his children, and close friends, he faced his illness with quiet strength and dignity. A founding member of Gang of Four, Dave helped change the shape of modern music. His bold, jagged bass lines powered classics like Entertainment and Solid Gold, albums that became blueprints for a new kind of punk. Sharp, political, and danceable, his work bridged art and activism in a way few others could. In the early 80s, Dave boldly stepped into a new chapter, co-founding Shriekback and later creating his own record label. He didn't limit himself to performance. He innovated behind the scenes, working in tech and music platforms like Intel, Beats Music, and Apple. Whether on stage or in business, his creative fire never dimmed. Back in 2004, fans were thrilled when Dave reunited with Gang of Four's original lineup. Those shows proved his passion for music, and for the people who connected with it, remained as strong as ever. But it wasn't just his music that made him unforgettable. Dave inspired deep loyalty and love. He was thoughtful, generous, and always full of ideas. Those who knew him speak of shared laughter, honest conversations, and the sense of purpose he brought to everything he did. His contributions to post-punk and to music as a whole still echo, Bands across genres point to his work as a game-changer. His bass lines didn't just hold songs together, they lit them on fire. Tributes from fans and fellow musicians have flooded in. The impact he made was profound, not just in his notes but in his words, his actions, and his spirit. Dave Allen is survived by his wife Patty and their children, who stood beside him through every chapter. He changed what music could be, and now his influence will carry on, one bold beat at a time. Tributes to Dave Allen. Number 4. Ced was instrumental in shaping the NCAA as it moved into the new century. His impact on the lives of student athletes and administrators will be felt for years to come. These words from NCAA President Charlie Baker speak volumes about Cedric Dempsey's extraordinary legacy. Cedric Dempsey passed away peacefully at the age of 92 in San Diego. He left behind a powerful story of courage, leadership, and dedication to collegiate athletics. A former NCAA president and lifelong advocate for student athletes, Cedric transformed the landscape of college sports. His influence rippled far beyond the office walls. From his start as a three-sport athlete at Albion College to leading major athletic departments across the country, Cedric's vision was always rooted in service to students and integrity in sports. Perhaps his most defining chapter began when he took the helm at the NCAA in the mid-90s. Dempsey guided the organization into the modern age, moving its headquarters to Indianapolis and securing major television deals that gave college athletics a path to lasting financial strength. He championed educational support for athletes, fiscal responsibility, and programs to protect college sports from gambling. Under his leadership, the NCAA began a new era, grounded in values and future-focused. Before this, he elevated programs at institutions like San Diego State, Houston, and Arizona, where he famously hired basketball coach Lute Olson, helping launch the Wildcats into a basketball powerhouse. He also created Arizona's CATS program, a national model for total athlete support. Away from the public eye, Cedric was a man of humor, compassion, and quiet resilience. He battled and beat cancer 3 times, never letting it shake his optimism. His respect for students, coaches, and his colleagues defined him just as much as his titles did. Dempsey's legacy lives on not just in halls of fame or records, but in the thousands of athletes and administrators he inspired. He is survived by his beloved wife June and 2 children, who stood by him across decades of service and strength. Cedric passed from natural causes, leaving behind a college sports world forever changed by his wisdom and steady hand. Tributes to Cedric Dempsey. Number 3. Philip W. Johnston embodied the very essence of public service. His legacy is one of compassion, determination, and transformative leadership. Those words capture the spirit of a man who cared deeply about people and the systems that serve them. Philip W. Johnston passed away at age 80 after a brief illness, leaving behind decades of meaningful work and unwavering advocacy. He shaped policy, uplifted communities, and mentored generations of leaders. From the halls of the Massachusetts State House to national offices, Johnston used every role to drive change. Serving 5 terms in the Massachusetts legislature, he quickly became a voice for those often unheard. As Secretary of Health and Human Services for Massachusetts, he led with vision and purpose, reforming care and expanding access. Later, as New England Administrator for the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, he championed those same values on the federal stage. But his heart was never far from home. He founded the Robert F. Kennedy Children's Action Corps in the late 60s, creating paths of hope for youth in need. Decades later, his leadership at the RFK Human Rights Center continued that mission on a larger scale. He was a successful businessman too, building Johnston Associates into a respected consulting firm. Through his work and board leadership, he guided major organizations that touch lives every day: Blue Cross, the Massachusetts Health Policy Forum, and the University of Massachusetts, just to name a few. Colleagues remember him as a unifier, someone who led with empathy and strength. Twice elected chair of the Massachusetts Democratic Party, Johnston was trusted not just for his politics, but for his integrity. He believed public service wasn't a job, it was a life's calling. And that belief shaped everything he did. Philip is survived by loved ones who will carry his values forward, and by communities forever changed because he cared. His story is one of service, social progress, and quiet courage. Though he is gone, his voice, strong, hopeful, and clear, lives on in the causes he led and the people he inspired. Tributes to Philip W. Johnston. Number 2, Antonello was a rare blend of talent and heart, a true Roman legend. These words from director Stefano Sollima capture the extraordinary spirit of Antonello Fassari, whose laughter, wisdom, and passion shaped generations of Italian storytelling. He passed away in Rome at the age of 72, following complications from angina pectoris. Though gone, his legacy beams brightly through the screen. Fassari's career journey began on stage, trained by Italy's finest and guided by a deep love for performance. But it was on television where he first won the hearts of millions. In the early 90s, he became a standout star on the variety show Avanzi, known for his sharp humor and unforgettable parodies. He later became a household name as Cesare Cesaroni, the warm-hearted father figure in the beloved TV series I, Cesaroni. For nearly a decade, families across Italy welcomed him into their homes, connecting to his blend of comedy and sincere emotion. His big screen roles were just as powerful. As crime boss Ciro Buffoni in Romanzo Criminale and a key figure in Subura, Fassari proved he could move from laughter to drama with grace and depth. Beyond acting, he explored music, breaking ground in Italian rap with the song Roma di Notte. In 2000, he stepped behind the camera to direct his own film, a bold move that showed his storytelling passion extended far beyond performing. What set Fassari apart wasn't just his range, it was his authenticity. Whether making us laugh or reflect, he did it with heart. He spoke Rome's language, lived its rhythm, and gave back to the city that shaped him. In 2020, he was honored at the Sette Colli Romanisti Awards, a moment that recognized his deep bond with Rome, his club as Roma, and his people. He is survived by his daughter Flaminia and remains deeply loved by all who knew him. Antonello Fassari taught us that art could be both joyful and profound. A performer, a director, a father, and a true original. Tributes to Antonello Fassari. What's trending on the internet? News 1. Kenan Thompson is sharing a personal health journey, hoping it inspires others to speak up and seek help when something doesn't feel right. The beloved Saturday Night Live star, 46, has revealed that he was recently diagnosed with GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease, after suffering in silence for over 2 years. What started as occasional heartburn became a daily struggle that affected his voice, sleep, and overall energy. "I just thought it would go away," Kenan said, "but it got to a point where patching it up wasn't working anymore. After finally visiting a doctor, he learned his symptoms had a name and a solution. Now, with treatment and lifestyle changes, Keenan says he's feeling great. I'm in a much healthier space with my daily lifestyle and meal decision-making. Keenan is now using his comedy to raise awareness through the GERD is No Joke campaign, where he stars as a chef in a playful sketch. Humor helps people feel more comfortable talking about health, he said. I thought it'd be funny if there was a chef who couldn't eat his own food because he is suffering in silence. With his trademark charm, Keenan is encouraging fans to listen to their bodies and seek medical advice when needed. I didn't know there was a real name for what I was feeling, he said, but now I do, and I'm glad I asked. News 2. An 11-year-old Texas boy is being remembered as a selfless and kind-hearted soul after his tragic passing this week. Braden Barlow Bures died after falling into Cypress Creek in Spring, Texas on April 3rd, prompting an outpouring of love from his school, community, and youth football team. Braden, a 6th grader at Strack Intermediate School, was described by his coach as someone who always put others first. He was an awesome kid, Coach Cody Connor shared. He was selfless and a true leader, both on and off the field. Authorities say Braden was playing with friends when he jumped into the creek. Some believe it was in an effort to help someone else. Rescue teams recovered his body later that evening. Though the water was shallow in most places, parts of the creek reached depths of 15 feet, complicating search efforts. In his memory, a GoFundMe campaign has raised nearly $30,000 to support Braden's family with funeral expenses and grief counseling. His love for football, the New Orleans Saints, and Texas A&M games lives on in the hearts of those who knew him best. All-American Youth Football called Braden a rising star whose spirit inspired his entire team. As the community rallies around his family, they are choosing to focus on the light he brought into their lives. He touched everyone, said fundraiser organizer Bo Pesca. Now we just want to give back some of that love. News 3. Phil Robertson, the beloved patriarch of the Duck Dynasty family, is currently receiving professional care after entering a more advanced stage of Alzheimer's. His son Jace Robertson confirmed this week. Speaking candidly on the Unashamed with the Robertson Family podcast, Jace shared that their father's condition has worsened in recent months, describing the situation as not good. Despite the difficult reality, the family is focused on making Phil comfortable and cherishing every moment together. We're doing the best we can, Jace said, thanking listeners for their continued prayers and support. Phil, 78, known for his strong faith and wisdom, is being cared for with the love and dedication of his children and wife, Miss Kay. The family is leaning on their faith in each other as they navigate this new chapter, often reminding fans that while Alzheimer's is a tough journey, love and presence still make a difference. Jace's cousin Zach Dasher also spoke emotionally on the podcast about the challenge of seeing Phil's decline, reminding listeners how Alzheimer's affects not just memories, but also those who witness the changes daily. Still, through the pain, the family remains grateful for the life Phil has lived and the values he's instilled. As Jace put it, it's been tough, but we're leaning on what matters most: our faith, our family, and the love that never fades. News 4. Beloved children's author Jean Van Leeuwen, best known for her charming Oliver and Amanda Pig series, has passed away at the age of 87. Her family confirmed that she died on March 3rd at her home in Chappaqua, New York, following a battle with cancer. Van Leeuwen brought joy to generations of young readers through nearly 60 books, many filled with warmth, gentle humor, and relatable childhood moments. Her Oliver and Amanda Pig books, published by Penguin Random House, have become treasured classics for early readers. One title, Amanda Pig and the Really Hot Day, earned the 2006 Theodore Seuss Geisel Honor for its delightful storytelling and appeal to beginning readers. Inspired by her own children, many of Van Leeuwen's stories were drawn from everyday family life. A lot of the books are based on experiences that my brother and I went through, said her daughter, Elizabeth Gavriel. Beyond picture books, Van Leeuwen also wrote acclaimed historical fiction for older children, including Bound for Oregon, a moving tale set on the Oregon Trail. A lifelong advocate for literacy, she volunteered for over 20 years at a local elementary school, humbly guiding young readers, many of whom had no idea they were being mentored by the author of their favorite books. Jean Van Leeuwen's legacy lives on in the joy her stories continue to bring. Her writing reminded children and adults that kindness, curiosity, and imagination are always worth celebrating. News 5. Health officials in Texas have confirmed a second pediatric death related to the ongoing measles outbreak, as cases in the state climb past 480 since January. The Texas Department of Health noted that 56 people have been hospitalized so far, and investigations into the latest death are ongoing. Despite the somber news, health leaders continue to emphasize the power of prevention. The measles, mumps, and rubella (MMR) vaccine remains over 97% effective at preventing infection when both doses are administered. Even in rare breakthrough cases, symptoms tend to be milder and less contagious. U.S. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. announced plans to visit Texas, where he is expected to attend the funeral of the child who recently passed. While Kennedy has voiced controversial views on vaccines in the past, health officials continue to urge parents to rely on scientifically backed guidance and consult healthcare providers about vaccination. Symptoms of measles can include high fever, coughing, runny nose, and a distinct red rash that typically starts on the face. The virus is highly contagious and spreads through airborne droplets from sneezing or coughing. Nationally, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has reported 607 confirmed measles cases across 21 states, including New York, California, and Florida. Families are urged to stay alert, get vaccinated, and speak with healthcare professionals at the first sign of illness. Health experts remain hopeful that through increased awareness and community support, the spread of measles can be slowed and lives can be protected. Number 1. Tony had a calm strength, a steady hand in stormy seas. You could always trust him to do what was right for Tasmania. That quote from a former colleague captures just a glimpse of the impact Tony Rundle had during his time in public service. Tony Rundle passed away peacefully at the age of 86. His legacy as a principled leader and thoughtful reformer has left a lasting mark on Tasmania. Born in the quiet town of Scottsdale, Tony's early life was grounded in community and curiosity. Before entering politics, he worked as a journalist and real estate agent, roles that reflected his interest in people and the everyday workings of society. His political journey began in 1986 when he was elected to Tasmania's House of Assembly. 16 years of service followed, filled with meaningful contributions and strong leadership. Tony's most defining chapter came when he became the 40th Premier of Tasmania. Leading a minority government, he worked across party lines to bring significant reform to state governance. Under his leadership, Tasmania saw the streamlining of its parliament, the creation of Service Tasmania, and a major boost to public education through the revitalization of TAFE. His decisions weren't always easy, but they were always thoughtful. Those close to him admired his quiet determination and unwavering fairness. Whether facing political challenges or helping to shape vital policy decisions, Tony Rundle was a voice of reason and compassion. After stepping away from political life in 2002, Tony remained an admired presence in his community. The outpouring of admiration after his passing speaks to the respect he earned throughout his career. He leaves behind his beloved wife, Caroline Watt, and his 2 daughters, who were at the heart of his world. Though cancer claimed his life, it never altered his spirit. Tasmania bids farewell not only to a former leader but to a man who truly believed in service, progress, and unity. Tributes to Tony Rundle. It was never about the spotlight, it was always about the story, Paul Caro once said. With a career spanning over 4 decades, Paul brought honesty,